I still remember the day I walked into my new home as a bride, wearing a soft red lehenga, my heart full of dreams and my hands trembling with joy. My name is Mira. I married the man I loved, Arjun, after 2 years of a beautiful courtship. He was gentle, respectful, and promised me a life filled with love. But, from the very first week, someone made sure I would never feel at home. My mother-in-law, Kamla Devi, she smiled sweetly in front of Arjun, but the moment he left for work, the mask would fall. "You call this dal? It tastes like hospital food," she would say, pushing the plate away. "No wonder my son has lost weight since marriage." I would laugh it off at first. I told myself she was just an old woman set in her ways. But the comments never stopped. They grew sharper, deeper, more personal. She would look at my stomach and sigh loudly. 3 years of marriage and still no good news? In my time, women knew their duty. She said it in front of his relatives, in front of my own parents, even in front of the maid. Every festival, every family function, she found new ways to humiliate me. My clothes were too modern. My laughter was too loud. My love for Arjun was just an act to trap him. I cried in the bathroom almost every night. I stopped eating properly. I started doubting myself, my looks, my cooking, my worth as a woman. Arjun would hold me and say, "She's from a different generation. Mira, just ignore her." But he never truly stopped her. And that silence broke me slowly. I endured it for 5 long years. 5 years of walking on eggshells in my own house. 5 years of pretending I was fine while my soul was being crushed piece by piece. But what I didn't know was that the woman who enjoyed destroying my peace had her own darkness hidden behind that proud smile. A secret so big, so shameful, that once exposed, it would shatter the perfect image she had built for herself. I discovered it by accident, on the day I finally decided I couldn't take it anymore. It started with a simple argument. That morning, Kamla, Auntie had thrown my carefully prepared breakfast in the dustbin right in front of me. "Even the dogs won't eat this," she said coldly. "You're useless. I don't know what spell you cast on my son." Something inside me finally snapped. Instead of crying, I went to Arjun's study to calm down. I opened his laptop to watch something soothing, but his email was open. And there it was, multiple bank statements forwarded by his mother. Large amounts of money being transferred every month from their joint family account to an unknown account. At first, I thought it was for some relative. But when I checked the dates, I noticed something strange. The transfers started right after our marriage, and they were happening every month without fail. I dug deeper. I opened the cupboard where she kept her important documents. What I found changed everything. There were old letters, photos, and a small, worn-out diary. The woman I knew as Kamla Devi had been living a double life for 30 years. She had a son before she married Arjun's father. A son she had given birth to outside of marriage. She had abandoned him in a small town and never looked back. The boy, now a grown man, had been writing to her for years, begging to meet his mother. She had been sending him money to keep him quiet, to keep her respectable image intact. But the worst part? She had blamed me for not giving her a grandchild, while hiding the fact that she herself had failed as a mother in the most painful way. All those taunts about my womb, my womanhood, my value, they were never really about me. They were her guilt speaking, her shame, her fear that one day the truth would come out and everyone would see her for who she really was. When I read those letters, I didn't feel anger at first. I felt pity. But then I remembered every single time she had made me feel small, every tear I had shed because of her cruel words, every time she had tried to turn Arjun against me. That night, I didn't sleep. I copied everything, the letters, the bank statements, the photos of the boy who looked so much like Arjun. I made a folder, and I waited. The next few weeks were the hardest. I continued to play the quiet, broken daughter-in-law. I let her humiliate me one last time at a family dinner, where she announced loudly that I was probably infertile and they should think of other options. I smiled through the pain, because I knew the storm was coming. I chose Diwali night, the festival of light, to expose her darkness. The entire family was gathered. Arjun's uncles, aunts, cousins, even my parents. The house was shining with lights and diyas. Kamla Auntie was dressed in her finest silk, playing the perfect matriarch, telling everyone how she had managed the house and guided her son's wife. I stood up quietly. I played a short recording on my phone, her voice, clear as day, telling me I was worthless, that I had trapped her son, that I was less than a woman. The room fell silent. Then I opened the folder and passed the printed letters and photos around. At first she tried to deny it. She screamed that I had faked everything, that I was trying to destroy the family. But when Arjun saw the handwriting, when he saw the bank statements, when he looked at the photo of the brother he never knew he had, his face changed. "Ma, is this true?" he asked, his voice shaking. She broke down. For the first time in all these years, I saw her real face. Not the proud mother-in-law, just a scared, guilty woman. The family was shocked. Some relatives left without saying a word. Others looked at her with disappointment. Arjun's father, who had been quiet all these years, finally spoke. He had known about the first child but had stayed silent to protect the family name. Now even he couldn't defend her. That night, Kamla Auntie's perfect world crumbled. She moved out 2 weeks later to live with a distant relative. The house became quiet, peaceful. Arjun held me every night and apologized for not protecting me sooner. We started healing. We even started the process of meeting his half-brother, something I supported fully. Today, when I look back, I don't feel hatred. I feel free. I learned something important through all this pain. No matter how much someone tries to break you, the truth always finds its way. And sometimes, the person who enjoys humiliating others is carrying the heaviest shame inside. Never let anyone dim your light because they're afraid of their own darkness. Stand up for yourself, even if your voice shakes, because the same universe that watched you cry will also watch you rise. And when you do, it's the most beautiful feeling in the world. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever been humiliated by someone who was supposed to love you, know that you're not alone. Your healing is coming. Your truth will set you free. Until next time, take care of your heart.